Good morning, guys. Today I have a story time. And I know if you've been following me this whole time, I give the same speech every time. But there are some people out there, maybe new subscribers, they may not know why I tell story time. The reason I tell story time is because, according to my kids, I told all my stories to them. So whenever I go to tell them my stories, we heard it all, Dad. But you guys haven't. And today's story, actually, nobody knows about. I actually forgot about it there for a little bit, and I was just reminded of it the other day. Not even my wife knows this one. So let's get this story going, and yeah! Okay, this story takes place back when I was 19 years of age. Back when I was 19 years of age, I lost my mother, okay? And my head went a little bonkers. A friend of mine at the time lived in North Carolina, and he invited me to come out there. He's like, come on out, maybe stay out here with me for a while and get a job. So I moved out to North Carolina, took a job at a place called Coastal Fence Company. I was doing very well at it. I was 19 years old, ambitious, full of energy, and I loved my job. Well, one day, they asked me if I wanted to go finish up a job that we had worked on a week prior to that. Now, this job was in the middle of nowhere. It was like in the woods, and what the job was, it was a wooden fence, and it was a long wooden fence. Not sure why at the time, why the owners wanted a wooden fence, but it wasn't my job to ask. It was my job to build. So I made myself a lunch, put it in the back of the truck, and we went out there. I didn't realize that I was going to be the only one there. And when the guy dropped me off, he says, you got your hammer, got your nails, finish putting up the wooden fence. It'll probably take you, 9 or 10 hours. I'll be back later this evening to pick you up. And before I had a chance, he drove off, and my lunch and my water was in the back of the truck. Me being 19 years of age, I didn't really care at the time. I was like, shoot, I can handle this, you know. What, 10 hours? I just stay busy working. So that's what I did. You know, so 12 noon came around, and I'm starting to get a little hot, and I'm getting a little hungry. And I hear something rustling through the weeds. I stopped what I was doing, and I was like, hello, how are you? This man came up out of nowhere. The man had a long beard, had a hat on, like a rusty jacket type of coat. He almost looked like a hobo. How you doing, sir? What you doing? I said, well, I'm working, putting up a fence. And he commences to talk to me. He told me his name. I don't recall it. Told me that he's just roaming around, basically, getting some fresh air. You know, he even said something about he's talking to the trees. I didn't care. You know, shoot, I didn't see anybody for like 4 or 5 hours. You know, I could have used a company. And I went back to work. The guy continued on talking, and I talked to him as I was working, hammering in the nails, putting up this wooden fence. 6 nails, I think it was, or 8 nails per piece. And then I started getting a little bit slowed down. He says, son, did you break for lunch yet? And I said, well, not really. Son, don't you think you need a drink? I said, well, my lunch and my water kind of went with the truck. I forgot to get it out. This guy had a backpack with him. Well, kind of like, not really a backpack, one of them long, well, I guess a backpack about, good size. And he just so happened to have a jar of peanut butter, some bread, and he had a jug of water. We put the peanut butter on the bread, and we sat there and we broke lunch together and drank some water. I mean, like, shoot, man's a miracle worker. So I got done eating lunch, and he picked up a rock and started helping me put these nails in. I was like, no, you don't need to do that. He says, why not? 2 of us get it done. We get it done a lot quicker. Then we can sit here and chew the fat until your boss comes to pick you up. I was like, okay. As we was working, we got the job done. We got it done in record time. We sat on the log and commenced to talk, and guy's like, hard times probably going to be coming your way soon. I was like, huh? First thought in my mind is, oh crap, he knows my boss. He's going to tell my boss I let him help. I said, sir, because you worked on defense with me? He says, no, son. Hard times going to come your way. But I want you to be smart about it. Think. He says, you told me you was from Cincinnati, Ohio. I said, yeah, I did. He says, you know, your loved ones back home will never think less of you. They're proud of you for at least trying. And they love you and miss you. At this point in time, I'm like, oh boy, where's my boss at? This guy's starting to get a little creepy. Where's my boss? Then he says to me, he says, you're a good man, Mike. Hardships going to be coming on and off. But later in life, you'll know what your purpose is. You're not following the right path. He gets up, spits on the ground after he coughs, shakes my hand, hugs me, and walks off. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know what that was all about. I have no idea. Shortly after that, I had to come back to Cincinnati. Things happened in North Carolina. I'm not going to mention what happened. I had to move back to Cincinnati. When I moved back to Cincinnati, I thought I was going to be looked at upon as my family as a failure. I didn't. I had some more hardships. I had more sadness happen throughout my life, and then I met Ange. Everything that man told me was the God's truth. Who was this man? He came out of nowhere. The man told me talk to trees. Just all of a sudden, he had peanut butter and bread and a jug of water. Helped me out build my fence with no questions asked. Who was this man? A mystery man. Well, as time went on, I forgot about what happened. And the other day, I was watching a program and something reminded me of it. I'll probably tell my wife the story. Well, I'm going to let this tell the story. And this is one story my kids never heard because I didn't remember it until recently. But it was a mystery man. Came to my aid in the middle of nowhere as I was building the fence. And just so happened to have lunch and told me a little bit about my future that I had no way of knowing. Neither should have he. Was he an angel? Was he God? Who was he? Was he even real? You guys ever had things like that happen to you? I was 19 years of age. A young guy headed down the wrong path, and it took a while for me to find the right path I belonged on, but I finally did. I mean, I didn't make my fortune. I never become a professional fencer like at the time I wanted to be. The only thing I am now is just a family man, you know. I live my life through my children, you know. They prosper, it makes me smile. Sometimes it's hard to scratch $2 together to make ends meet, but I don't care. Money ain't everything. So I don't know who this mystery man was, guys, but he just appeared out of nowhere. That's my story, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Every so often I come up with a thing called story time. I like watching videos. I like to watch Rhett and Link, which is Good Mythical Morning. I like to watch them when they're on Ear Biscuit talking about their stories. And I figured since I like to listen to them, maybe you guys like to listen to me. Maybe sometimes you could cope with some of these stories. So if you can cope with this one, leave me comments. Love to read them. Love to respond to them. But until next time, guys, tomorrow I hit the trail. That's right. I walked the park, my favorite place, but it's time for me to get back to the trail. And I have it on video. But until then, guys, we'll see you soon, okay? Come on! Let's get out of here! And thanks for watching. It means more to me than I can ever express. Alright, God bless, guys. I'm out of here.